helping people reclaim their health, exemplifying how adversity can spark breakthroughs in the quest for wellness. Please join me in welcoming Aaron Bigelow from AmpCoil.
All right, we're just waiting for the screen to get on point here. Bear with us 1 second here. We're almost ready. All right. Well, good afternoon. So again, my name is Aaron Bigelow. I get to be the co-founder of this wonderful technology. I've had the pleasure of being in this industry now for 30 years. The ripe old age of 56 now. And if you look at these pictures up here, that is my family there with our other baby, which is the AmpCoil. That's my youngest daughter. And both myself and my wife there had extreme cases of Lyme disease. At least I was told I probably wouldn't make it. Our oldest daughter, who's now 18, was so bad that basically we were told, get your affairs in order. You might only have a few months to live. But for those of you who are parents out there probably know that's not something you're going to accept. You can mess with me, but don't mess with my kid. So out of that, I like to say I was the right person to be bit because I was already developing similar types of technologies, but nothing more that was powerful enough or precise enough to really do the job for something like Lyme disease. So after spending almost $500,000 just to keep myself on track with myself and my daughter, we had this epiphany and had incredible people to come to us, electrical engineers, holistic MDs that all kind of got out of their own way to develop what's known as AmpCoil today. The first version came out 10 years ago, and over the last 10 years, we've been on this amazing journey. When I first started in this, you see a picture of a paddleboard there. That's in Lake Tahoe. I believed in the technology so much that when we launched the first version, I said to my first partner, I'm going to stand up paddleboard around Lake Tahoe to show how much I've improved from using this technology. At the time, she thought I was crazy, but she was crazy enough to say, I'll do the trip with you. So for those of you who don't know Lake Tahoe, it's about 80 miles. At the time, I could only paddle about 100 yards because my Lyme disease prevented me from even standing on a board for more than a minute. So this was a pretty insane idea that 6 months later, I would be able to do this trip. Literally 6 months to the date, her and I did this trip around Tahoe. And ever since, we've been doing it every year for Lyme disease through our foundation. So it just goes to show you anything's possible if you really understand what's in front of you. And so moving forward, if I want to go ahead and go to the next slide, this is our incredible community. And we believed that for us to really do well, we needed to spread all over the world. So these are our ambassadors representing 30 countries and over 50 states that currently use the technology. Some of my favorites just happen to be right here in the room that helped us spread the love and became partners within the company. They're just outside of Lyme, Connecticut, where Lyme disease most likely started. And so as we go ahead and go to the next slide here, I brought this slide up because I think most of you are aware that environmental toxins are affecting us at a level we have not seen in our lives. So when you look at this, these are all the things that most of us are dealing with on some level, and we have the ability to address this with the AmpCoil with almost everything you see on this category, including at the bottom here, how to live healthy past 100. My oldest daughter, who's now 18, told me, Dad, you're not going to live healthy past 100. Nobody lives healthy past 100. And I said, darling, with the technology we're developing and what we're doing in the future, all of us have the ability to live that long. So hopefully you in the room believe that this is possible so we can all get together and make these types of things happen, because it is in front of us. So this just shows a kind of a photo montage of the different aspects of how to use the AmpCoil. You can see we have a tablet up here, which basically works as a menu that gives you the ability to see what you need in real time after we do a voice analysis, which we're going to get to here in a minute. And then you can see the toroidal field that's created when using the AmpCoil through quantum energy. So you got to get an idea of what that looks like and how this radiates within the body, because the way this is designed, it penetrates 4 feet in every direction. So whatever is in that field is going to send those healing frequencies within that field. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. So this is our voice print technology. So with this, you have the ability during a 1-minute time period to speak into the tablet and see what's coming up in real time with whatever's related to your health. So we can look at, if you look here, neurotransmitters, chemical sensitivity, the cleanse programs. These are all parasitic, pathogenic activity that's hiding in the body. Most of you are probably very aware that if you go and do a traditional blood test, almost none of these things show up. So I was one of those classic cases that went into a mainstream doctor's office, got my blood panels. They said, I'm sorry, doesn't look like there's anything wrong with you, but I can recommend a good psychologist. And right then I said, okay, this system is severely broken. And that's when we created the voice analysis technology, because we now can accurately determine what the body needs in real time. So pulse electromagnetic field, there's a lot of PEMF devices out there. They're all incredible. Ours is kind of a standalone because it's a modified PEMF technology. We send a much more subtle wave over time that the body welcomes more, especially if you're dealing with a lot of things like chronic illnesses, Lyme, MS, you name it. We needed to create something that the body was more recognizing as something it wanted as opposed to a threat. So it's much more subtle, even though it's super powerful. We do have the ability to pass the blood-brain barrier and go intracellular, where these bugs like to hide out. Okay, so we have brain reboot on here because this is probably the simplest, most profound journey that we have right now. It's 15 minutes. And if you go to the next page here, this just shows you one of many assessment tools that we've used to show before and after. If you're not already familiar with brain mapping, this is a brain map of myself before and after. This wasn't that long ago, but if you look up here, you can see where it started, and 15 minutes later, my beta results were almost, I'd say probably 90% improved just after 15 minutes. So this just shows you, again, how fast we can actually self-correct our body when you understand how to use other technologies to assess it. Go ahead and go to the next slide, Scott. And this is an HRV scan that also we did brain reboot on, and you can see the difference in the colors. Obviously quite toxic here, and I believe this was about an 78% improvement on the right, also just within 15 minutes. So just showing another assessment tool that we have been able to use to determine how well we're actually shifting the body. Go ahead and go to the next one, Scott. And then circulation. So this is another program that, that we've used to also to show before and afters. And you're going to see when we go to the next slide what that's related to. So this is thermography, showing how much inflammation and everything changed just through thermography. Again, this is about a 30-minute session. And I'm going to actually call upon Kathy, if you wouldn't mind coming up here for a minute. And I'm bringing up Kathy because she is someone who's not only been a part of a lot of these studies, but she actually helped us do a Lyme study for, what was it, 90 days? Is that how long it was? So in 4 months, we did a Lyme study showing before and after of what happens with somebody with Lyme disease. And how many people did we have in that?
12. There were 12 people with chronic Lyme.
If you want to just walk us through kind of what we went through here, that would be great.
Yeah, I think we did the traditional Lyme protocol that we have, and these were individuals who were suffering, some of them for 30, 40 years, and they had tried everything, antibiotics, natural remedies, all the things. And we brought them together, and they came 3 times a week for 4 months. And in general, I would say that the pain reduction was the most profound for people, but their mental clarity and their energy, you know, people said I got my life back. And I think 10 out of 12 bought the device. They're owners and part of our community. And I think another thing was that when you're chronically ill, there is an aspect of depression and lack of motivation, and it's a long-term recovery process. And what we found with people in the 4 months was such a radical shift in attitude and ability to be more positive, have a more positive outlook, and more social connectivity. And that was really powerful because Lyme and chronic illness, as we all know, is very isolating and separating.
And with that, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time because I believe you spent with your family almost $1 million just keeping yourself and a couple of your kids alive from Lyme disease yourself. So do you want to just describe really quick kind of your experience, kind of getting to the other side of that? Because I think it's pretty profound.
Yeah. Well, you know, when your children are sick, you do anything for them. And I was also sick with Lyme. And I had doctors telling me my son would be in a wheelchair by the time he was 20. And I decided that that was not what was going to happen. And we tried everything. We went to Switzerland. We had a lot of really good friends who helped us financially to try to, you know, do whatever we could to help my daughter and my son. And we found the AmpCoil. And our business partner who is here, she bought the coil for our family, which I could cry because it was just an amazing gift to have under our Christmas tree. And then slowly but surely, within 1, 2, 3 months, we all started to feel better. And I really didn't even know what to do with the device. I didn't know how to run it properly per se. I just kept turning it on. And we would bring it to one bedroom, to the other bedroom. My husband was the Sherpa of the AmpCoil. And my daughter, who couldn't really get out of bed, within a couple months asked if she could go out to Colorado and go skiing with her brother. And we were pretty surprised. And it's been an upward trajectory since then. And for me, within 3 months, I stopped going into chronic fatigue episodes. I just continuously felt more and more energized. And 7 years later, I would say I'm probably living the best life that I've ever had the chance to live. I'm super grateful, and I'm grateful for a lot of things, but I have to say I'm very grateful for the AmpCoil because it has significantly shifted my experience of what it is to be a loving human being on the planet.
If you wouldn't mind staying up here for a few more minutes, that'd be great. Okay, Scott, if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, so I don't know how many of you are familiar with this phenomenon, but if you look at history, what's up here is apparently a true statement. We recently had a pandemic that everybody in this room luckily got to survive. Well, now I believe it's time to thrive, you know, and why not thrive in 2025, right? So here we are. We're really stepping into a renaissance period. And with that renaissance, everything to me is vibration and frequency. Why not see how high we can vibrate and emanate that frequency to anybody who really needs the support that's coming out of this dark period that all of us luckily survived. So here we are. This is us now moving forward, and everybody at this event, I believe, is already on that train. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So if we go to the next slide here. Got us there, Scott? Okay. There we go. So as far as what's new, so here are some of the things that just literally came out hot off the press. For those of you who haven't already had a chance to go over to the booth, these are our new journeys that you can have from the menu. We have environmental toxins on there for obvious reasons with all the things that are falling from the sky if you're not paying attention, things in our water system, you name it. We're being bombarded with everything you can possibly think of. If you feel like you're somebody who's suffering from anything related to that, definitely come over, because a 30-minute session may change you significantly to where you feel like, okay, I'm back to who I'm here to be. Inflammation. I think almost all of us have dealt with major inflammation recently from similar types of issues, whether you had COVID or not, whether you went and had the shot. These are all things that we're, again, faced with. Emotional reset. I think the emotional trauma on our whole planet, again, has been something we probably haven't seen, at least in my lifetime. So if you feel like you're dealing with any of that, again, something that we really feel that we can help you, put you back to where you want to be. And then detox assist, drainage. You know, when we're dealing with all these things that come into the body, a lot of times you wonder, well, how do I get it out of the body? The way this is designed, we can pull heavy metals. We can pull all these things that lay dormant in the body that keep us from really thriving. We have the ability to pull these things out in a way that the body welcomes and does not feel like you're going through a major detox to do it. And then the Practitioner album is a whole nother program that we're in the middle of developing in conjunction with a new version of voice analysis. Very soon, you'll have the ability to do voice analysis from your phone for any of these issues that come up. And then you'll have the ability to find a practitioner, probably within a half hour of wherever you live, anywhere in the country, and soon throughout the world. And you'll be able to determine what you need just from your phone, and then you'll know where to go to a practitioner that has the unit somewhere physically you can go and have an experience. So I'm not sure if there's much else we have to cover here on this, but I just want to see, is there anything else you want to say in relationship to kind of where we're at right now and where you see us going with all the things that are going on in the world?
I mean, I come from the perspective of how can I open my heart when it wants to close? That's the place I question and I reside in. And for me, the AmpCoil, it's continuously tuning me into more balance, and I am able to open my heart more and more, even though there's a lot of crazy stuff around me. So what I feel with the coil is that in addition to all of the amazing things that Aaron has talked about, that it's also continuously giving the frequency of love. And that is so important right now on the planet for all of us. So that is just one thing about it that I think is really unique. And that people, when they come to our booth, that is the feeling that they have from the people that are part of the company, the relationships that we have with each other, the practitioners, the community that we create, and the frequency that is given. So I think that's important.
Well, I think at this time, we'd like to open it to questions. Is there anybody here that has either had an experience they'd like to share with the AmpCoil, or somebody who hasn't but thinks that there's something you'd like to bring up that the rest of the audience might enjoy? Anyone come to mind? Yes. About the brain mapping, yes. Have not, but what I can say, because you're asking about liposomes, right? Exosomes, okay. So anything that you're entering into the body, if it's a healthy product, the AmpCoil works as a carrier wave. So it would just basically help take the uptake of whatever it is and supercharge it. And the same is true with alcohol, but on the negative side. So we have people come to us and go, oh, I had 3 or 4 beers and I didn't think about it. I just got on the AmpCoil. I'm like, how do you feel right now? I feel terrible. Well, yeah. Of course. Yes. Oh, yeah. No, we can cross-pollinate with anything out there that's positive for the body and see more profound results, accelerated at a level that you may not see elsewhere. So that's a great question, and we'd love to collaborate with that possibility, for sure. Anyone else? Okay.
The last thing I'd say is I find that it is an empowerment tool. So a lot of devices and different things nowadays you can't really have in your home or travel with. I take the AmpCoil with me wherever I go. I travel all over the world, and it's incredibly empowering to know that you can come home after being exposed to anything on an airplane, right? And we know what to run. Whether you've been exposed to a bug or a virus or whatnot, it's really reassuring. It's really reassuring that I have like the pharmacy, the doctor in my home at my disposal. And that to me is incredibly empowering. And that shifted things greatly for me in my life. After many, many years of looking outside of myself for the answers, that I really realized that, oh, it's all within me. And this is one of the tools, or really the tool, that I think is so profoundly helpful with that.
Well said. Before I kind of close, a couple things I wanted to bring up. Is there anyone else that has questions? No? Okay. Yes. Maybe speak up since you're further back. Okay, yes, I heard the question. Yeah, she's asking what sets us apart from other companies. Part of it is definitely the community. We have an incredible community worldwide of people that, you know, they're not only givers, but because of the training and support that we offer that I have not seen in any other holistic company, the people that are our ambassadors can help with just about anything that's thrown their way. And again, they're located all over the country and throughout the world. So one is the support, it's the training, and then it's also our ability to have major shifts happen with major health issues in a matter of minutes, like we showed with the scans before. And I haven't really seen those types of shifts that are positive effects on the body in that short period of time with any other technology. There's a lot of great things out there, but for the deep, heavy lifting that's required for some of these chronic illnesses, that's where I think we're set apart from other technologies. And the fact that it does go intracellular and past the blood-brain barrier without harming the body. So in conjunction with the voice analysis, which is still new technology that not everybody's familiar with, that gives a very accurate assessment of what to pinpoint so you know you're going after the right target, as opposed to playing what I call whack-a-mole. Does that answer your question? Great. Anyone else? All right. So we're talking about feeling the shift here, and we talk about people that have had profound shifts that are doing major things in the world. We have professional athletes, world-renowned surfers that have like hit their head at the pipeline in Hawaii, that have severe head trauma, and again, after 1 or 2 sessions, feel like they can get back into their sport again, which is not something you see every day. Same thing with world-class tennis players that all of a sudden thought their career was over, and now 5 years later, as a result of using this with other things, they're now into their 30s, early 40s, still be able to compete at an elite level. And I believe it's just because of the way we're able to continue to put that positive energy back into the body through frequency to help keep them thriving much past what they would have normally done at whatever age they were at. So these are just some, prime examples without mentioning names of, just the profound results that we continue to have. So I don't think I have anything else to bring up unless there is any closing thoughts. Kathy? You going to sing for us?
I think it's also really powerful to have a tool that you can put your whole family on. Children, you'll see pets will naturally come to sit on the coil. That's always amazing to me. There's no placebo effect with a pet or a small child. And also that you can open it up to your community. I have a healing sanctuary on my property. It's a yoga studio. We have all sorts of sound healing, all sorts of events. And it's really wonderful to have a device that anybody walking in the room, whether they're in deep grief because they just lost someone that they loved, or they've been exposed to some kind of environmental toxin, they have some issue, that I can say, here, take the coil, have a seat. That's powerful. That's really powerful. So I don't know. I'm just really grateful that it exists.
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. I'll just say in closing, as a parent, having 3 teenage daughters, my 13-year-old now will come to me and say, Dad, I think I'm getting the flu. What should I do? I go, honey, you know what to do. And she'll go into her room, hook up the AmpCoil, and she can do it herself. So as a parent, to empower her at that age, and that it's simple enough that a 13-year-old kid can do this comfortably, and then watch her be able to go to school the next day as opposed to being down in bed for a week. I mean, that's a game changer for me as a parent. So for those of you that are parents out there, this is something the whole family can benefit from. And I can guarantee you, if you decide to own the technology, you will end up having more friends than you ever thought you had once you start using it. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out this afternoon, hearing what we have to say. And shift happens, right? And I think booth 800. We're back by the coffee bar. So instead of getting coffee, come to our booth for energy and have a brain reboot. Thank you very much.